Before you start cooking, you always need to tie your hair and get it away from your face. Then you need to wash your hands with warm water and soap for about 20 to 30 seconds. After you're done washing your hands, you want to dry them with the paper napkin. I have my mise en place all ready and set up. What that is just basically having all your ingredients and everything already measured and ready to go. Whenever you're using a cutting board, it's always good to put a wet paper napkin or a towel. That way the board is steady and it won't move. So the first thing that we're gonna cut is gonna be the tortilla for our nachos. So you're just gonna cut half of the tortilla and then turn it around, and then you're gonna cut in the middle again and then on the sides. So you're just basically gonna be cutting it into little mini pizza slices. And then we're gonna place them on the plate with the rest of the other cuts. We are then gonna measure out 6 tablespoons of oil for our chips. And the heat needs to be at a medium to high temperature. When putting the tortilla slices onto the hot oil, you need to be very careful that you don't put them all at once, because the oil can splash out on you and it is really hot, so it could burn you. So you need to do it carefully and slowly. After you've put a good amount of the slices into the oil, you want to keep moving them around, that way they don't stick to the pan. The chips will be ready when they turn into this golden brown color, so you just want to have a plate with the napkin and then you just place it on top. That way all the excess oil falls onto it. Then we will start cutting our chicken. You will just slice it in half and then start cutting little pieces, and make sure that you are grabbing your knife correctly. And with your left hand, make sure you are using the claw method. That way you will have a good grip on the chicken. And then you just want to repeat that same exact step onto the other half of the chicken. Once we're done slicing the chicken, we are then going to measure out 3 tablespoons of oil. And then we're just going to pour that onto the pan. Same goes as for the chicken. You want to be careful when putting it onto the oil because you don't want to burn yourself. You want to keep the chicken at a low to medium temperature. That way it turns into a golden brown and it is nicely cooked. You then want to add a little bit of salt and pepper onto the chicken. That way it gives it a little bit of flavor. Meanwhile, the chicken is cooking. We are going to start cutting our tomatoes. So we are just going to dice them. What that means is that we are going to be cutting the tomatoes into small cubes. And then once you cut them, you're just going to place them onto a bowl. And then you're just going to cut the other half. Once we finish cutting both of the tomatoes, we are going to start cutting our avocados. So you just want to cut it in half and then slice it up like that. And then the other way. And then you just want to grab a spoon and then scoop it out. I find this to be so much easier. And then we are going to measure out 1/4 cup of cilantro. Then we're going to place that onto the plate. And then we're going to put our avocados. And then our onion. Our tomato. And then you just want to mix that all together. Once that is all nicely mixed, then you want to grab another bowl, and then you're gonna pour the chips, and then you're gonna pour everything that we mixed into on top of that. And then just top it off with the chicken. And that is the chicken nachos. And of course, we can't forget the dishes. We need to wash the dishes. So you just want to add warm water and soap, and then just scrub away.